I was born in Lovelock, so I'm a native Nevadan and grew up there. My mother was the daughter of Basque immigrants who came to this country, a sheep herder and a servant. They met and married in this country. My grandmother lived down the street. I saw the world with her through her immigrant eyes, someone who didn't speak English when she came here, always had a heavy accent, was often greeted by people who seemed to maybe look down on her because she had such a heavy accent. So I saw that side of things. And yet I also saw just a really goodness of heart that she brought and that so many immigrants bring to our country, just these good, hardworking people who are so dedicated to wanting to create a better life for their children and their grandchildren. Fast forwarding through high school graduation, I came to the University of Nevada, Reno. I was one of those young people who was looking at a lot of different universities, couldn't make a decision, decided to come to Reno thinking I would move on, and here I am. I ended up getting my degree at the university, meeting my husband in Reno, and then spending my career in Reno. I was communications director for the University of Nevada, Reno for 11 years. Now, research communications director, which is a part-time role. Well, we really moved the news and information of the university, and that would be the same for when I was at Washoe Health System, when I was at Harrah's, when I was in other capacities. There was a period of time where we had to sustain some incredibly deep budget cuts. Very challenging for us as communicators, how you communicate that to people who are impacted, people who are losing their jobs. I've seen those darker days, and yet coming out of that, the university has grown in terms of the enrollment size, the quality of education, what the campus looks like. I mean, it's remarkable to even think about how far it's come in a relatively short time out of those budget cuts. But I have to say that has been motivating to me to be a part of an organization that's building, growing, getting together, makes you want to get up and go to work in the morning. Joe Crowley wrote a book about being a university president at a public university. And the name of the book is A Constant Conversation. And I love that. I love that title. And that's what being in a communications role at the university is like. We are in a constant conversation. We're not controlling communication. We're facilitating it. I am blessed to have had many, many extraordinary role models in my life and mentors as well. I have to start with my parents. My mother was a teacher. And she and a teacher in Winnemucca started English as a second language programs in Nevada schools. It was Spanish. These were far and away children of immigrants who had come to the area to work in agriculture. My mother, because she knew these families, she knew their kids, she got to know their parents, she really became almost a de facto social worker in our community. When they were in trouble, they called our house. For racial tension or a problem of that sort, they called our house. And then over the years, my mother, because she became close to so many of the parents, and especially the women, the mothers of these children, she started to create a class, which was her own idea, but it was a class to teach them to sort of understand society and to just to understand how to navigate in the world in the United States. For example, they would learn how to open a bank account, how to write a check. And then she ended up getting connected with some of the statewide literacy efforts and folded literacy in. It was a magnificent, magnificent program. And my mother ended up being inducted in the Nevada Women's Hall of Fame for this program that she created on her own that continued for many years out there. So when you think about a role model, that's the woman I grew up with.